Thank you. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your time to share with myself and Chairman Walden an issue that we think is pretty important. I'm Senator Dean Heller. I'm from the state of Nevada, and I'd like to discuss what we're trying to achieve here. Most of you know, being from the state of Nevada, we have some real issues that we're trying to overcome. Nevada has the highest unemployment level. We have the highest in foreclosures, and we're also the highest in bankruptcies. And what we're looking for are ways to create jobs in Nevada and do so in trying to overcome some of the regulatory problems that we have here in this country. And where we're starting here with Chairman Walden and myself is some FCC reform. This is a $3 trillion plus industry. $3 trillion plus industry. If you're going to start turning the economy around and you're going to start creating jobs here in this country, you ought to start with an industry that is that size, of that size. And if we can reduce some of the barriers of entry into this and trying to make the FCC more friendly and more reactive and more responsive to the industry itself, and ultimately the taxpayers, I think will be better off. And so that's why we've introduced together, as my counterpart in the House, here in the Senate, an FCC Reform bill. And it will, what I believe, is a bill that will create jobs. And let me tell you basically what it does, and then I'll turn the time over to Chairman Walden. First thing that this bill will do is ensure that if FCC comes up with new rules, new proposed rules, that they actually talk to the industry. That may not be a new concept to a lot of people, but it certainly is a new concept to the FCC. We want them to talk to the industry about any new proposed rules to make sure that there's input, that the actual rules themselves make sense. Second, what the bill would do is every new rule proposed by the FCC come with a cost-benefit analysis. This is something actually President Obama has talked about, and that we have asked the FCC in the past to come up with some cost-benefit analysis to make sure that any new rule or proposed rule would in fact discuss whether or not it has the impact of creating new jobs in America, or in fact it would stymie job creation in this country. So we want a cost-benefit analysis every time they propose a new rule. And finally, we want to establish a shot clock with the FCC. What we want, we're not telling them what the shot clock should be. What we're saying is that every person who writes a letter to the FCC, anybody who calls the FCC, deserves an answer. A yes, no, maybe even a maybe. But they deserve an answer, and they deserve it in a time certain manner. And again, we're not trying to dictate what that shot clock will be, but you can write a letter to the FCC today and get no response. Get no response. I've written letters to the FCC, gotten no response. And I know that within the industry, people have sent letters to the FCC and received no response. So it is my argument that I think the FCC works more for the FCC than they do the industry that they have a responsibility to regulate. So anyway, having said all that, that's what the bill does. I want to turn it over to Chairman Walden, have him make a few remarks, and we'll open up for questions.
Perfect.